Hey guys, I'm the Fact Freak, and I want to talk to you today about a real problem, and that is online grooming and cyber grooming. It happens on all sorts of social media, and the facts and statistics around it will truly shock you. We're going to talk about some of those facts, and we're going to talk about how best to safeguard children and what we can do as parents. Before we begin, I want to say that I got a lot of the information from this particular Facebook page, which is well worth a follow if you're a parent. Now, of course, you might be thinking, what is online grooming? Now, online grooming is the intentional use of the internet, social media, devices and the like, even gaming, dating apps, all sorts of things like that, to manipulate and trick a young person into participating in explicit interactions or exchanges. Now, I wanted to single out one particular number there, as a lot of people think, yeah, okay, I know that's happening, but it's not going to happen into my household. It's not going to affect my children or my loved ones' relatives. But look at those numbers. In 2021, the UK's National Crime Agency estimated the number of people who pose a threat in this way to children in the UK is that high. Now I'll show you something else. What I'm going to show you is some old facts, but they make a very strong point. Now if you read the highlighted bit here, it says in 2020 there was over 10,000 cases of online grooming offences. But if you look, all of the stats raise. So the first lot of stats in this article were taken in 2017, and the number has gone up and up every year. So you can't afford nowadays to sit back and think, it's not going to be here, it's not going to affect my family. And of course, one quick search of convicted of online grooming and you'll be met with pages and pages of examples. We'll click at one at random here. There's one with a police badge on it. Queensland man charged with online grooming of children. Now, in this article, the police said a search warrant was executed to the man's home, with investigators seizing mobile telephones. The device will be subject to further forensic examination. If your child is being targeted, reassure them that it's not their fault. This is what leads to the paedophile hunting stings that we're so common to see nowadays online. Now, if it isn't clear what the aim and the objective is of these predators, then it is to persuade a physical meeting in the real space. Now, if you look here, it'll say about apps that are used to do with grooming, and there really isn't a lot that aren't. 70% of groomers use the apps Snapchat, Instagram, Yellow, Calculator, Scout, Meet Me, Omegle, Telly, Facebook, Kick, Facebook Messenger, Whisper, Bedo and Burnbrook. There is so many. 1 in 5 young people who shared an indecent image of themselves were blackmailed, bullied or harassed into sending more images. 1 in 3 children consider a connection they made online as somebody who is a close friend. That means a child can interact with somebody playing a game or something like that, end up talking, take that conversation to another app to communicate, and that friend believes that that is a strong relationship. Just like somebody you may have known for years, leading that predator to be able to manipulate that child. 1 in 4 teens interact online with somebody they believe is 30 or older. 2 in 3 9 to 12-year-olds interact with unfamiliar adults online. That is a particularly shocking fact. All of this is. But the facts need to be out there. They need to be spoken about. And you need to think about it. Now, what are the warning signs that this may be happening to somebody you care about? Now, there isn't just one clear sign to make you think, whoa, this may be happening. There's a lot of signs to look out for. You might find that your child has become withdrawn, mood swings, upset, outraged after using things that have that connection to the internet. You might find that they have displayed secrecy. They're not wanting to tell you who they're talking about, hiding their devices, uncomfortable about handing over their device to you. Now, mobiles, you may find that they've taken devices and other things that you have not given them permission to use. They may have less restrictions on them. And obviously, new phone numbers, texts or email addresses on their mobile phones that you don't recognise. Now, distracted is another one. They can get caught up in themselves and worrying and seem preoccupied all the time, like something is going on in their mind. It could be one of those signs shown very strongly, or it could be a mix of them all. Now, something I see a lot on TikTok, which is quite concerning. You can be scrolling through lives and you'll come across a clear child live streaming. And in those chats, there are men, usually men, trying to communicate inappropriately with these children. Now, people who've been on this channel know I've exposed those people's profiles before and had those live streams taken down. But it makes you think every time, what the hell are the parents doing? And it's important not to blame, because a parent might not know that a child would be able to have live access on TikTok. But unfortunately, when a child does get live streaming and is able to do that, these facts about live streaming to do with children are truly horrifying. 98% of the victims from live streaming are 13 or younger. 96% of the victims were girls and in their home alone. What's terrifying about that is a predator may be able to ask very clever, manipulative questions to discover the location of that child. Never mind, a child could be walking around their room, streaming, not realising that behind them could be something that would give away their location or their identity. 40% of those images that were taken or were categorised in that way, I can't read that out here, but you guys can see it. And 100% of images had been harvested from their original upload locations. That means that that predator has made, manipulated, blackmailed, whatever it may be, that child to upload those things from their own phone, their own location. Now, I wanted to leave that image there as it highlights a very strong point. A lot of children do not know the identity of the person who is grooming and manipulating them. A lot of the time they are even unaware that they are actually being groomed. Now, your child may disclose to you that this has happened, and these are some ways that you can handle that. Now, 1 in 3 children unfortunately never disclose abuse. Over 74% do not disclose within the first year of the abuse happening. Over 50% still have not disclosed within the 5 years after. Children face huge barriers to stop them sharing. Now, if they do share, it is important to stay calm. Remain calm and try not to panic, be shocked or show anger. Now, all parents are human, and as normal, you may slip on some of these things, but it's important to talk to that child and explain why you have slipped and that you're sorry. It's really good you've told me is things that you should say, reassuring statements. Make sure not to insult the offender. Now, this is going to sound very far out there, because to you, that offender, they have done something horrible to your child. However, a child who has been groomed and is disclosing that may still be conflicted whether this person is a friend or a foe. So you've got to tread carefully until you can reassure and make sure that child knows the person that they believe to have been a friend, somebody who cared about them, is a monster. But you can't just pull the wool from under their eyes, pull the carpet out. It'll be too much. It's important to listen. If the child is having trouble finding the words, just be patient and listen. It's important to not have sort of an interrogation sort of approach and tainting them as being in the wrong. They have done something wrong. They are part of the problem. Be aware of your child's feelings and try not to project your own feelings onto your child. And reassure. Reassure is so important. Statements while listening, like, I believe you. Now, it is important to report that incident. You must make sure and ensure that the child is not in immediate danger. Do not keep it a secret. By reporting abuse, we demonstrate that children are valued and worth protection. Now, this is something that may make you react like myself I've just done, but it's important. You need to have the child examined. You need to have the child looked at by a medical professional, and that can be physically looked at by a medical professional, or see if there's anything that can help with mental health, counselling, anything like that. Now, types of disclosure can range. Disclosures can be direct or indirect. Most likely a disclosure will be indirect, which means that the child does not share the details of the abuse without being prompted. Now, I want to talk a little bit about what parents and others can do to try and ensure that their children are safe online. So the NSPCC have a great section on their website devoted to exactly this. Now, I'm going to go through it with you guys, and I'll leave the link for this website in the description box below. So we scroll down, we've got 6 tips to improve your family's online well-being. Now, these are all things that I've brought in myself, for a number of years now. Screen time savvy. Now, the idea here is that spending less time on screens is a great way to improve well-being. So taking some time, like I'm about to go for a walk with my kids, for example, and I won't be allowing them to take their phones with them, because otherwise they'll be just walking along like that constantly. Do you know what I mean? Get used to interaction in the real world as well, because I feel like when we've talked about before about them gaining relationships and trust of people online so easy, it's because it's in their hand all the time, you know. Let's have a look at this. Now, this could be to do with blocking certain apps. Now, there's a great what do I use for Android? I use an app called Family Link, and if you'd be interested in a video of me going through Family Link and these sort of apps, tell me in the comments and I'll do it. On this app, I can individually lock my children's phones. I can see what apps they're using, how many minutes they've used those apps, and I can block certain apps, which I think is what this is going to go into. So yeah, children can see things online that make them feel upset, angry, or cause low self-esteem. If this happens, encourage them to... All right, okay, so it's encouraging them to take it upon themselves as well to block. That's interesting. I like that. That's very good. Now, seeing isn't believing. Let's have a look. What's this all about? Remind your child that not everything they see online is true. I think we all need reminding that sometimes. Encourage them to regularly question what they are viewing. This includes content that might make them feel bad about themselves. That's really good. I like that. I like that. Mistakes happen. This is important, and this is an important lesson for parents too. Mistakes do happen. If your child makes a mistake online, such as getting into an argument or sharing personal information, be understanding. You could use this mistake as a learning opportunity. That's what we talked about before, isn't it, with disclosure. I mean, they would be disclosing that, or indirect disclosure. You would find that information that they've been doing that. It's about reassuring them and not punishing directly like that. Take the lead. Now, this is probably what I was talking about before. Your children look at you as an example. Make sure you're acting on your own advice. I mean, come on, guys. As a parent, it's very easy sometimes to be a hypocrite, but we need to be pulled up and regulate those things and get chatting. Have regular chats with your child about what they are doing online. 100%. Now, I want to talk a little bit about something that I do quite regularly, and it is random spot checks. So I will just walk into one of my children's rooms and I will say, hand over the phone. Hand over the phone. And if they don't hand over the phone immediately, then there'll be a punishment in place, and just a little punishment or something like technology off them for an hour or so, because I want them to hand it over to me, and I'm going to look at the phone with them, and I'm going to ask them if there's anything that I would be concerned about seeing or anything like that, and I'm sort of bringing up the conversation that may bring about indirect disclosure. But it also means that, well, I just think it works for me, as well as monitoring the apps and things like that. I don't know. But in this place, in this video, I've tried to cover as much as I know about online grooming using the resources that I've seen. If you guys have any tips or anything you want to share, please do in the comments below, and share this video and help with awareness of this absolutely horrific problem online. You have a great day, guys. Peace.